welcome to town.
Everything is so strange here, but I think I'm getting used to it.
A rogue journalist. That's something I can get behind.
You seem cool. I don't want you getting eaten or something.
Can't wait to read about it in the weekly.
Season 2, Episode 7, Unraveling. Well, recorder, we finally made it. It's Taco Tuesday. And also research and evidence gathering night, but I'm so hungry I could care less about anything that isn't wrapped in a tortilla right now. I have to say, I didn't expect my long-lost twin to match my strong love for tacos growing up so far north. To be fair, I also didn't expect to find a long-lost twin in Alaska, so lots of surprises. I haven't recorded anything on here in a little while. Since we found the old Bluff newsletter about the possibly related attacks, we've all been busy searching for clues as to what's going on. See if the incidents are really connected. Sybil and I interviewed some of the older townsfolk in the area. Unfortunately, most of them didn't remember much since they were so young at the time of the first incidents, but it was fun to spend time with Sybil. We did like a tag team thing. She would butter them up with her quite literally contagious happiness, and I would ask all the tough questions. We did end up hitting a couple snags, though. There was one older couple that really didn't want us to come closer than their front walk. And then Mrs. Weber from that town hall fiasco pitched a fit. She just kept saying the only course of action is to kill the creature once and for all and kick all the fringe cryptids out of town. We left pretty quick after that. We weren't really interested in anything else she had to say. It worries me, honestly, all this negative talk about fringe cryptids. It still feels weird to use the word. I don't get why people feel the need to make the distinction. It feels like they're just using fringe as a replacement for evil or monster. But cryptids are just cryptids, right? Sure, some have stronger powers than others, but what should matter is what they do with those powers. I don't know. I'm only talking to myself and Dr. Julius, so I'm really just preaching to the choir. I guess I'm a little nervous for Sybil. She acts like the anti-fringe stuff doesn't bother her, but it's pretty hard for her to hide it considering I saw her hair go from brown to a dark purple when Mrs. Weber started screaming at us. I'm still not sure exactly what she was feeling. I'm trying to remember what the colors are and stuff. I know purple is nervous, but the mixed colors get a lot more confusing. I don't know. I was just angry. Maybe that was from her influence? I don't know. Anyway, while we've been out canvassing the town, Lizzie's been assisting the mayor for the last few days, and she seems to be enjoying it. I never would have pictured her taking such a passionate interest in public policy, but she went on and on the other night about that emergency mitigation meeting she attended. I guess she's a government nerd now, if that's a thing. Francy and Reese have been helping with research efforts too, of course. On Sunday, they spent the day up in Petersburg, asking older locals around there if they remember any seismic activity or floods back in the day. I also put them in contact with Juliet, so they've been combing through some of the issues she's been able to photograph and upload. She was so excited that she got to interview Reese for her article. I really liked her first idea, but it seems like someone told her a human-friendly piece like that wouldn't go over very well. Roger thinks it could have been her parents or something, since we were both on board with it, but who knows? Whoever it was, I guess I sort of understand where they're coming from. I thought the majority of cryptids were willing to try getting along with humans, but from what I've seen in Bluff, we haven't heard much from Shia in a few days. Lizzie's been keeping in touch with them. Said they were still staying with Mr. Fisher and they haven't been feeling great. And, you know, that's fine with me. I don't really care. I'm just excited to meet up with my other friends and have a nice night of tacos and piecing together this mystery.
Avra, why so angry?
Angry? What makes you say that?
It's pretty clear to me. Come on, help me with dinner before the rest of them get here. I'm in a good mood. Let's bask in it.
Wow, Sybil, this is delicious.
Yeah, Seb. Oh, these are way better than the ones we normally get at Rudy's.
Rudy's?
It's a restaurant in town that has a little bit of everything. They have a cheap taco special on Tuesdays that we usually hit up.
Oh no, do we mess up your plans? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. We still got tacos, right? I wasn't really wanting to go there tonight anyway. Don't feel like getting the side eye all night.
That's what's got you upset? The fringe thing again?
I'm not upset.
I saw the streaks in your hair when you had it up before. Lizzie noticed them too, right?
I was just concerned.
Okay. Yes, it's the fringe thing. It just seems like the more things get wrong in this town, the more people are hopping on the blame bandwagon.
Are there other cryptids in town that are, like you?
You can say fringe. It's not the word that's the problem. But yeah, there's a few of us that fall into that category. Brandon Sherman, Eleanor Pierre, Rosie Evers.
I heard she went to stay with her girlfriend in Juneau for a little while. I'm not sure if it's permanent or not.
I wouldn't blame her. She's smart. No reason to stick around and become a scapegoat when you have the means to go somewhere else. This isn't what we're here to talk about, though. What was everyone able to find?
Honestly, I haven't found much outside of an unexpected enjoyment of meetings. I talked to all the councilmen and women, the chief of police and his only 2 officers, and everyone else at City Hall that I could find, but no one really knows what's going on. The only one who had anything to say about the earthquakes back in '38 was the janitor, Mr. Carter. He said he wasn't alive when it happened, but he remembered his mother talking about it when he was a child. He said his mother was working in the canning factory that had opened earlier that year. It was the first one in Bluff, and apparently it got a lot of cryptids to move in to find work there. She told him the ground shook for almost 3 minutes. But even though she had grown up in San Francisco, this earthquake was totally different.
Like worse than she had ever experienced?
I think just different. Maybe she was exaggerating, who knows? But that's all I really found.
We didn't do much better in Petersburg. No one seems to have noticed the earthquakes, which seems strange because we're not that far away, and the kind of shaking we felt should have traveled pretty easily.
Had to have talked to over 100 people while we were there. Not even one of them felt any shaking or saw any flooding.
I'm no seismologist, but that doesn't seem like a regular earthquake.
Do you think it's being caused by Nessie?
That sounds impossible.
So does a town full of cryptids. Okay, so Petersburg isn't much help. What about the articles Juliet sent you?
Those were interesting.
We weren't totally sure what we should be looking for, since there was never any mention of a sea monster, and the only talk of the earthquake, past the original coverage, was short mentions of rebuilding efforts.
We tried to make notes of all the big stuff that happened around that time, see if we could tie stuff together. In 1938, the only big things that were reported on were the election of a new mayor, the construction of a new housing area, and a small apartment complex. Oh, and the opening of the fish cannery.
Doesn't sound like much. But for Bluff, that's a hell of a lot.
Sounds like the last time this happened, it was right around when Bluff was starting to boom. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
You think the creature didn't want more people on the island?
It could be, but why would it wait to bother the town again for such a long time? It just doesn't add up.
Did the twins find anything interesting?
Oh, right. I'm part of that. Not really.
We chatted with some of the older residents, but they really just reiterated what we already know, or what you guys found.
All this work, and we still don't know what's going on.
Maybe there's no real reason behind it all.
You think Nessie is screwing with Bluff just because it can?
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe it's just a jerk. We don't even know if it's able to communicate. If it's a cryptid or some sort of dinosaur or mutant animal or something. I don't know, maybe it's just angry for the sake of being angry.
Never thought of that.
Well, what do we do about that? If it can't understand us, we might as well be trying to figure out the mind of a tornado. I don't remember inviting anyone else. Coming!
Well, we have to figure out something, unless we want some of the more ambitious residents to start running around with pitchforks and flaming torches.
It'd be a lot easier if it could talk to us.
It can.
Shia!
I thought you weren't feeling well.
I'm not. I feel like I've been hit by a truck and I can't figure out why, despite being a nurse. And I'm still pissed off at you.
Shia,
But I didn't come here to talk about that. My grandfather spoke to the sea monster.
What? Where? What did it say?
Relax, Reese. This was 75 years ago.
He talked to it the first time it was here?
I'm not quite sure you can say it was the creature's first time to bluff, but yes. When he was a kid, just 8 or 9, he was playing around on the docks the day of the earthquake, passing time until his father returned from an early morning fishing trip. The earthquake hit out of nowhere, and the few longshoremen who had been milling around scrambled to get to land, so my grandfather was left alone. Once the tremors were over, a massive snake-like creature poked out of the water, its head bigger than his whole body, and it had green scales and fins. It stayed so low so no one but my grandfather could see it, and before he could get over his shock to call for help, the creature said something about balances changing and breaking trust and taking back what's theirs if necessary. I don't know what it was exactly, generational loss, but then it just left.
Are you serious?
Yes. I mean, my grandfather passed away a few years ago, so this is all from my dad's memory. Take it with a grain of salt, I suppose, but I don't think either of them would lie.
Of course it would talk to someone who isn't here for its return.
It's so cryptic, too. Balances tipping, taking back trust.
At least now we know it can communicate.
Which doesn't necessarily mean it will reason with us.
We can still try.
That sounds really dangerous.
Everything's dangerous.
Ah, lovely. The twin is reckless too. Look, we can't just go running out and trying to find this thing so we can have a little fireside chat. We need some sort of plan.
Well, we're all here, aren't we? Let's make one.
So, for the first time I think ever, I won't be the only one talking to myself. I'm finally not gonna be the only one that looks crazy. I'm currently setting up Francy's phone to record him during phase 1 of our plan. Well, technically it's phase 2, because, phase 1 was supposed to be talking to Shia's father to get some more information about his father and the whole sea creature encounter, but he's on his boat right now, so we won't be able to chat with him until later today. Or maybe it's phase 3, because we did all that research before. It doesn't matter. The phone's all set up, and now we just have to pray it doesn't fall out of Lizzie's makeshift harness while Francy's flying around the islands. Reese and Sybil are prepping him now with a map covering the area. We're trying to figure out where Nessie's going when it isn't terrorizing the town. We figure it has to have some den or lair or something, and a bird's eye view is better than anything we have from the ground. Hopefully Francy can spot something from up there. Oh, hey Shia. Are you feeling any better?
Not really.
If there's anything I can do, I happily...
There's absolutely nothing you can do, Avra. Thank you.
Shia,
I'm going home to lie down.
Okay, do you want me to keep you updated if we find anything?
Lizzie will.
Oh, okay. See you later.
Hey, Av, you got Francy's phone all set up so I can stitch it into this harness thingy? Av, are you crying?
No, I'm fine.
Shia trouble again? I'm sorry they're so hung up on the human thing. I wouldn't say I'm super close with them, and I especially wasn't before you came to town, but I wouldn't have expected them to be such a jerk about it.
They're not a jerk. It's my fault I lied, and they're allowed to be angry.
Well, then I'm allowed to be angry at Shia for making my best friend cry.
I guess that's fair.
Damn right it is. I know you care about them, Av, and of course there are fights and arguments in every relationship, but if Shia's fighting against who you are, maybe they're not worth it. There is no changing yourself, and they should know that better than anybody.
When did you get so good at relationship advice?
I don't know. Can't say I've had much experience, but maybe that's why I'm so good at it, because I can watch all the dumb things you and Francy do.
Must be why you're so good at all that stuff you've been doing for the mayor. You can keep tabs on everything, and you really know how to read people.
Oh yeah, waitress skills, I guess.
Yeah. But, what's going on with that, by the way? Are you going back to the diner when we get home?
I don't know. I mean, I did quit, but that was just to Archie, so I'm sure I can beg Rosie for my job back, but...
You don't really want it back, do you?
Does that really matter? There's nothing else in Water's Edge for me to do. I really don't have a choice.
Lizzie, there's a million other things you could do, and you're not just limited to Water's Edge.
Yeah, unless I want to move across the globe, I kind of am.
You don't have to work in a cryptid town, and you don't have to work in an industry that you don't enjoy anymore. I don't want to be pushy or anything, but you really seem to be enjoying what you've been doing for the mayor. Maybe that's what you should be searching for.
Are you kidding? I can't work in government. I barely have the qualifications to work in an entry-level retail position. Besides, something like that could take me outside of Water's Edge, and I just don't think I want that at all.
I still think you'd be great at it.
Look, I appreciate the support. I really do. But right now, we have bigger things to worry about than my future career, so, namely strapping a cell phone to our friend's goat chest and making him fly.
All set?
Yep, this phone isn't going anywhere.
And it's recording everything you see and say.
Awesome.
Well, are you gonna go goat?
I thought you said you had wings.
Oh, it's a whole thing.
Whoa.
Holy shit!
Sorry, I know it's pretty weird and...
Are you kidding? You look sick as hell.
Yeah, spooky, but in a cool way.
Oh, thanks.
All right, Francy boy. You can bask in the compliments later. Get to flying or your phone's going to run out of memory.
Right. See you guys in a few. Okay, this seems about high enough. Now, where are you hiding? I don't think sea creatures make nests, but you've got to have a home somewhere. Just have to find it. Oh, right. I should be taking audio notes, shouldn't I? Okay, let's see. Right now, I'm passing over the shore near one of the residential districts. Everything seems fine. There's like one boat out off the coast and a few people hanging out on the beach, but that's really it. Now I'm getting closer to the bridge to the mainland. Can't say I see anything unusual besides the bridge wreckage. It's mainly just the part that connects to the mainland that's been badly damaged. It's pretty long, so the rest is supported by pillars that are still standing. It seems like... Oh, wait, what's that? Oh my god, I hope the camera's seeing this.
Wait. Play it back. I didn't catch that.
Look right here. Right around where the bridge piece should be. There's a bunch of rubble in the water, so it's a little darker, but something's moving.
Is that it?
Yes! It was so much easier to see in person.
But that's massive.
I know.
How is that a cryptid? We don't really come in dragon size.
Well, maybe it isn't.
But if Shia's grandfather is right, it has to be. It spoke in a language he understood.
Did you find out anything else from Shia's dad?
Not really. Apparently neither he or his father ever saw the creature again, even though they were both fishermen their entire lives. He mentioned his father felt guilty about the attacks, blaming on his Selkie curse, whatever that means.
Oh yeah, we heard a lot about how much Grandpa hated the bullies at the cannery, too. Maybe too much.
We should show Lucinda this, see what she thinks.
I already messaged her. She definitely wants to take a look.
Great. Let's bring it over.
I think she'd rather meet us here when she's done with her work for the day.
Oh, but that's gonna take hours. We should really show her sooner rather than later.
We don't all have to go. If you want to bring it over to her without a whole entourage, that's fine with us.
I can't go to City Hall today. There's another public meeting about fishing business stuff, and there's been talk of some residents planning to stage a protest against fringes. Eleanor Pierre is one of the co-managers at the cannery, and Lucinda even recommended that she not come because of it. We should just wait. Sorry.
No, don't you apologize for any of this bullshit. This town is so obsessed with finding a way to blame fringe cryptids for everything. Don't even give them a second thought, Syb.
It doesn't make sense to me why fringe separation is still even a thing here. I mean, shit! We literally have a cryptid back home who tried to kill us and ate people, and we don't even call her Fringe.
Sib, you said Shia's grandfather was a Selkie, like the Scottish kind?
Yeah, why?
I met a Selkie once. They're known for unintentionally causing terrible luck for their enemies whenever they have a streak of good luck. They couldn't control it if they wanted to, and some definitely want to. Probably what he meant by his curse.
Good thing it sounded like he didn't have many enemies. Besides those cannery jerks, at least.
Wait, Reese, weren't the most injuries from the 1938 earthquake reported at the cannery?
Yeah. Maybe that curse is real.
He talked to a strange sea creature, and it sounds like he was Fringe. It wouldn't matter if it was real or not. People would blame him anyway.
And I bet the town doubled down on their distrust of Fringes because of it.
Well, that's messed up.
I guess, but we can't do anything about it.
We could show them they're wrong.
How? The people that are against Fringes are the same ones who practically invented the term itself. They're not going to just change their opinions on a dime. This stuff is pretty ingrained.
Maybe not, but if we were able to stop the creature, they would have to reconsider.
Maybe. But I really don't care what they think of me. I just want to know if Lucinda has anything to say about this monster video.
Guys? I'm not sure this is what we think it is.
What do you mean?
I'm not sure this is the monster. It might be some sort of sludge in the water. See how far it stretches past the bridge here? And then over here, too?
Oh, yeah. I didn't notice that from the air.
It would have been hard to see with the sun on your face and all.
So we found sludge? That's it?
Maybe. But there's a chance it's the monster. And if it is, we have a much, much bigger Nessie on our hands than we thought.
Thanks for listening to Cryptid Cape, Season 2, Unraveling. The show is created and produced by me, Victoria Pereira. I also voice Avra.
The voice of Francy is Aubrey King.
The voice of Lizzie is Christina Rose Hargis.
The voice of Shia is Angelique Fustukjian.
The voice of Sybil is Caroline Byrne.
The voice of Reese is Kyle Goss.
Our theme song is Pink Night in Ohio by Ryan Anderson. The other songs used in this episode were That Night in Your Car by Spaz Cardigan and Meeting Again by Emily A. Sprague. Our story editor is Jennifer Wong. Our cover art was created by Christy Dupre. Be sure to subscribe to Cryptid Cape so you don't miss our next episode. We publish every 2 weeks. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Cryptid Cape for some fun bonus content. And check out our coffee page at ko-fi.com/cryptidcape to donate to the show and get your own Cryptid Cape sticker. Share this episode with friends or leave a review if you enjoyed it. It means the world. See you next time.